boyfriend pushed his religious beliefs onto my grieving sister.
Well, it's time to pull back.
A little background. I, female 24, am an atheist, and my boyfriend, male 23, happens to be one too. My family is Christian, but they're the type who love everyone, accept people for who they are. Think people attracted to the same gender, getting married is fine, and accept that I'm an atheist. My parents have always had that be Christ-like mentality, which sometimes does not mesh well with more conservative Christians. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Armchair, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, but anyway, they are awesome people, and I love them. Our dad passed away after a rough battle with cancer a week ago. It was pretty bad, and my family is mourning right now. We are a pretty tight-knit family, so we're reeling at the moment. We had a funeral at a local church, and it was really nice and beautiful. I personally do not hold the same beliefs, but I respect other people having their own opinions. I do not take offense or make it a personal mission to somehow prove them wrong, which is something my boyfriend has a tendency to do. He is more judgmental and has curbed back a lot, but it is still there. Yesterday, I got a phone call from my older sister, female 28, in tears because my boyfriend started going at her regarding her faith. She is the same as our parents. He sent her a message on Facebook offering his condolences since they had not really had a chance to talk after my dad's passing. She thanked him and said that her dad was not in pain now and that he was with God at peace. My boyfriend replied, "You're entitled to your opinion. I just don't feel the same way."
I'm immediately breaking up with that person just
Immediately
because
breaking up.
you're annoying.
Oh my
You're
goodness.
so annoying, and you don't know that that's not the time to be like, push his glasses up.
Actually, God doesn't exist and your dad's like just a freaking in the ground. That's awful. Go sit in the corner and think about what you just said, because you suck.
Which, you know, it's less scary when you think about...
Thinking in a corner?
Huh? What?
Timeouts are
I
less
don't know.
scary?
No, I was probably going to get too real. Let's keep going.
My boyfriend replied, "You're entitled to your opinion, I just don't feel the same way." This really upset my sister because it was not the time or place for that comment. And I agree with her. She told him that it was not very appropriate to make remarks like that to someone who had recently lost a parent. I guess my boyfriend took that as an opportunity to turn it into a debate, and my sister ignored him. Yeah, no, genuinely, I would be breaking up with that boyfriend if he said something like that to my sibling when they just lost someone.
Yeah, it's because it's like you're also kind of saying it to like everybody. Like even though I'm an atheist, it's like I don't know.
It's like I don't think that
weird.
I need to be right, so I'm gonna tell you that I don't think that your family member is, in heaven or whatever, because I don't believe in that. That's ridiculous.
It's like it's like just like being like, well, technically, it's like imagine like what was the Titan submersible? Like imagine like someone is like a family member was in there and they're like, I can't believe my family member exploded at the bottom of the ocean. And then someone goes, well, actually, technically it was an implosion.
Yeah.
It's like
Idiot.
just not the thing to say. You go, yeah, I'm sorry. That's terrible. I'm sorry.
No, I have a lot of people in my life, family and friends, who are religious, and I am not. And when they say, oh, like, I've lost this person, I think they're here, like, can you pray for me? I say, of course.
You don't do a spit take?
Yeah.
You go, pray? Pray for them?
You?
What do you mean? Pray to who? The clouds?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. She showed me the messages and I just felt so angry. It is one thing to not agree with someone. It is another thing entirely to be rude about it, especially at a time like this. My family has never pressured him or made him feel awkward about being an atheist. When I told them I was one, they nodded and told me they loved me. It is not even about faith to me. It is about the quality of a person. In my opinion, when someone tries to push their ideologies on another person, whether they are atheist, Christian, Muslim, or anything else, it shows deep-rooted insecurity. I feel really angry at my boyfriend, and this feels like a deal breaker for me. We have only been dating a few months. Yeah, he's gone. He's done.
A few months?
He's done.
Get him out of here. I'd rather have a few moths than a few months with this guy.
I have a few moths in my closet than this guy in my room.
I'd rather have moths in my hair, moths everywhere, instead of one more moment with this man.
Although we have known each other for a few years, and I am realizing how utterly grating he is.
Like a cheese grater.
It is not a blatant...
I'm realizing now he's sort of like a hollow metal box with different grooves and incisions in it.
that just, like, really take the skin.
I've been dating a grater this whole time. I'm a grater dater.
I'm a grater dater. It is not a blatant nails on a chalkboard kind of irritating, but more subtle. He makes excuses, is lazy, does not have a job, and stopped going to school because no one would hire him as an intern.
That's
I
why you
wonder
stopped going to
why.
school?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
It's a weird reason.
He complains constantly about all of this, but does nothing to change his circumstances. He even got mad at me last Christmas season because he bought me a $5 game as a gift, and I did not buy him a $60 game. We had only started dating about a month before that, and I did not feel comfortable spending that much money on a new boyfriend. I did not expect anything from him at all because of how anti-Christmas he was. I still got him a gift, a $10 game, and he tried to guilt me about it because I have a job. I'm sorry, he got you a $5 game and got upset that you spent $5 more on him instead of
Come on, man.
$55 more? Huh?
You know I'm unemployed, which is basically like I have a privilege. I'm entitled to your money and better gifts because you have a job.
This guy
And they don't just grow on trees, you
has
know.
nothing going for him.
They don't grow on trees unless your job is to pick fruit, and in which case, depending on what fruit it is, your job might grow on a tree.
Or a bush. Sorry, this is turning into an angry rant. What would you do in this situation? I'm ready to cut contact with this person. What is the best way to handle this? And relevant comments, the pens are mightier, says, as an atheist myself, people like him are the a-holes that annoy me. Just because someone believes something doesn't mean you need to try and wage a war against religion. Believe what you believe and let others do the same thing. What he's trying to do is try to prove to your sister that she's wrong and make himself feel bigger and smarter than her, and picking the passing of her and your father to do that is just ridiculous. From the rest of the post, he sounds like a child and an a-hole. Get rid of him and be happy. And there is an update, folks. But what do you think? Yeah, break up. That's what I think.
Easy breakup.
Yeah.
I think we've covered it, but like, read the room.
Yeah.
You know?
You suck.
I'm glad you could interpret my noises and grunts because that's what that was.
They were pretty obvious.
It's like, what are we doing here?
I mean, if you choose someone losing their father as the time to dunk on them.
Yeah.
What does that
By the
say
way,
about
your
you?
father's soul didn't go anywhere, dork.
Because you
It's
just
like,
now
what?
won.
He's like skill issue. You
Yeah.
know? Like, dude.
But we got an update. Let's hope you see them.
Do you think he
break
did it
up.
on purpose?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
not
people
even
like this. I don't think it's like on purpose. I think it's just like people like this are so
Pompous.
infuriating and pompous,
Yeah.
and they need to
Right.
like one up another person intellectually.
Well, it's the vibe of like, well, sorry, sorry, you don't like the truth. Sorry, but I value the truth. So I'm sorry you don't like that.
Yeah, and I feel like we've at least Sophia and I have covered on this being agnostic because
Yeah.
we've gone to Catholic school all our
Yeah.
lives. We get it. Like, we
Yeah.
understand it, but it's also like we're also not dumb. It's like you can read the room kind of
You
thing.
can be nice
Yeah.
and not have the same values.
You can be respectful and be like, you know what, I'm sorry for the passing of your father. Like,
Mhm.
that's all you have to say.
Yeah, it's really, 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 really easy.
Update. Yesterday, I took my sister and my mom out to have dinner and veg out. I let both of them know that I was dumping my boyfriend, and my mom wasn't aware of the reason. My sister only told me what happened, and my sister said uncharacteristically, "'Cause he's a wiener," which surprised her mom. I explained to her what happened, and her mom just shook her head and said, "He clearly isn't happy with himself if he did that. I'll pray for him, but good riddance." Nice, mom. Nice response.
Good mom. Good mom. Good
Queen
mom.
response.
Queen, good mom.
This morning, I blocked him on every conceivable social media and email and gave him a call. He acted like nothing was wrong, and I confronted him in regards to what he said to my sister. He apologized and said that he was wasted, so he had no real control over what he was saying. This pissed me off even more and told him that it was an excuse for being an a-hole. He knew what he said, because he said, "I knew I effed up after our conversation ended abruptly," but made zero effort to apologize to my sister in the following days. I told him that he was only apologizing now because he was in the crap house
Yeah.
and only regretted that he was getting yelled at.
Yeah, I can't imagine the amount I would have to drink to drop that on somebody.
Yeah.
Like, I would have to be in a state where no one's trying to even have a conversation with me. They're like, we need to take you somewhere, like maybe the hospital.
And also to, after the fact, know that you made a mistake and then not being able to own up to it. I don't really understand his logic. My sister is a sweetheart, and I guess he assumed she wasn't going to say anything to anyone. He kept making up excuses that he was stressed out because he doesn't have a job. Well, go get a job. Maybe you don't have time for a relationship because you need to go get a job.
Yeah, that's true.
That he was wasted, so it really wasn't him who said it, and that I should just accept the apology and move on, because clearly it was just a mistake, nothing malicious. I reiterated that he made zero effort to reach out for 2 days, to apologize to her, or to come clean to me about what happened. The only remorse that he's expressing is because I was pissed at him. I told him that we were done and that I had no interest in maintaining a friendship with him. He began to argue with me that I couldn't break up with him because I was angry and this was just a heat of the moment decision. He actually said that if I dumped him at the moment, it didn't count and that we were still together. He's like, actually, it doesn't work right now. He's like, I'm breaking up with you. And he's like, you can't break up with me because it's opposite day.
Yeah, it's actually opposite year, opposite decade.
Sorry.
So you're stuck with me for the rest of your life, actually. That's how that works. The science told me that.
Science told me that, and I believe in science. He didn't agree to the breakup, so thus it meant that our relationship wasn't over, and that I had to cool down and talk with a calmer head. Dude, this isn't a marriage.
I would love to see that, like, how that works in just like other, like, even in a marriage. Like, I know sometimes you have to do like separation and stuff and whatever, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. Like, imagine the bank's like, we're repossessing your house, and he's just like,
no.
Well, actually, I don't think you should, so you can't. There we go.
Apparently, he thinks me waiting a few days to tell him no again will be a more credible decision. I noped out of that and told him he had to respect what I wanted and that a breakup absolutely does not have to be mutual. No person can hold another person hostage in a relationship when they want to leave it. It was fundamentally wrong. I kind of felt bad because in the end he was in tears, adamantly saying that it wasn't really his fault. Shut up, dude.
It is your fault.
Shut up.
Did somebody put all of the booze down your throat?
He was wasted and had no control over his filter. You were wasted at like the event that was being held for the loss of your girlfriend's father?
Yeah, it's like...
Pretty bad look for you.
Then no matter what, that's still your fault.
I held my own and said my goodbyes. Probably seems cold-hearted, but my family comes first, especially over butt hats. By the way, I hope that we come first when you listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to the story. Any final thoughts?
Your boyfriend's insane.
Yeah.
Your ex-boyfriend's insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that we can't break up. I don't agree to it.
He's so self-absorbed. He thinks that he can talk himself out of anything.
Absolutely insane. Insanity.
Yeah, that's wild.
But we've got a little bit left. It's evening now, and I had a day devoted to my family and our pugs. I didn't realize how much of a downer my ex was, and I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I don't have to worry about his mountain of self-created problems. Looking back, I think he held on because I'm financially secure, and the gears of my life are in motion, the wheels whetted by achievements where he hasn't. He hasn't made any effort to contact me or any family since our last interaction. I hope for the best for him. Thank you all for your wonderful, encouraging comments. And top comments, Gold N says, so I'm a bit late to the party, but I want to share an anecdote about my husband from back when we were dating. He's not atheist. He identifies more with being agnostic. That being said, a few years ago, one of my cousins passed away, and I invited him to come along with me to the funeral. My uncle and aunt are very deeply religious people, which he knows. I was aware that there was going to be a very deep religious vibe over the entire event, and I told him I didn't want him to feel uncomfortable. He told me not to worry about it. Over the course of the week leading up to the funeral, I caught him reading the Bible from time to time. The day of the funeral, he gives a card to my grieving relatives. After the event, my boyfriend went home, and I went with my parents to my uncle and aunt's house. They were looking over the messages and cards people had left. When they got to my boyfriend's card, my aunt started crying. Inside the card he had written, "The righteous perish, and no one ponders it in his heart. Devout men are taken away, and no one understands that the righteous are taken away to be spared from evil. Those who walk upright enter into peace. They find rest as they lie in passing." Isaiah 57, 1-2. My condolences, his name. That's really, really sweet.
Yeah, that's a very thoughtful guy.
That's very thoughtful.
That's a thoughtful little goober. Imagine
is
if he
not
had
OP's
opened the
boyfriend.
card and just it was like a doodle of him
Yeah.
going like, no, 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 no. All your religions are fake.
That would be pretty awful. My agnostic boyfriend took time out of his day to not only learn about Christianity and the Bible, he later told me it was his first time reading it, but he put forth an effort to care for my family. I asked him why he did it, and he told me he wanted to find something to say that would strike a chord with my uncle and aunt. Coincidentally, the quote he chose also happened to be one of my aunt's favorites. Atheist or not, you deserve someone that will love not only you, but your family as well, and give them the respect they deserve. I hope you find your man one day, as I have found mine. Ziggy Karmadus says, I hate that "it wasn't me, it was the booze" excuse. It's like a wasted driver claiming that his decision to drive wasted was made under the influence of booze, and therefore he shouldn't be held accountable.
Dude, perfect loophole right there.
Yeah.
Use that one in a court of law.
I was drunk, Your Honor. I didn't know I was driving drunk.
Officer, I love beer.
But folks, that's the end of that story, and we've got another one coming right up.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Hey, over there. Yeah, we do.
Hey, Thea, what are you doing tonight?
Tonight?
Yeah.
Rehearsal?
Oh, well.
Why?
I was going to invite you to trivia.
Aw.
you can't go to trivia.
What about next week?
Potentially.
I want to go to trivia next
Invite
week.
your boyfriend, too.
Okay.
I'm sorry I made the noise. I'm sorry I made that noise.
Oh my god, I just bent my wrist too far back.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
My boyfriend and I, whenever we're like jumping or like walking around.
Don't start that sentence after we're making link sounds
Yeah,
saying
no,
my
we always-
boyfriend and I.
Yeah, we always do that. When we're
In
like,
what?
we'll be
When they're
like
walking around, Keon.
We'll be like walking around and we just start like jumping and like,
But who are you copying? Okay, good.
I
wanted-
played Breath of
I was just making sure.
girl knows Breath of Wild. Oh,
Breath of Wild?
Breath of Wild.
She knows Zelda?
How no?
Name 5 other Legend of Zelda games. You're turning me
Tears
into
of
this
the
girl's
Kingdom.
terrible boyfriend.
Okay.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay.
Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
No, those 5 other. So Tears of the Kingdom
Legend of
counts as one.
Zelda.
That does technically
Okay.
count.
That's 2.
That's 3.
3. No, you can't count the one that you already know as
Tears for Fears.
Tears for Fears? Legend of Zelda Tears for Fears is crazy.
Yeah, at
Honestly,
least you know
I would play
the
that.
that you don't know. Come on,
Breakpoint.
you should know. There's 2 that you should know. Come on.
I haven't played any other ones. I've only played Breath of the Wild. and
There's
Tears
plenty of
the
stuff I
Kingdom.
haven't
What's
done
a
or played
what's
or
a
experienced.
vampire
I know
movie?
about it.
Twilight.
Yes.
Twilight Imperium.
So close.
Twilight.
Twilight.
What's
and
the
then
opposite of- what's the opposite
what
of
is
Prince?
my girlfriend?
Twilight Princess.
There
you
we
go.
What is my girlfriend a princess?
All right.
Whoosh.
Riley
what does that
has
sound?
one of these. He likes to
Breath.
play it.
Blow- wind.
Yes.
Wind Princess.
Wind.
Wind
And what do you
power.
do? What's the opposite of sleeper?
Wind Waker.
But look, there you go.
Wind Waker? Wind Waker? Does it make any sense?
She doesn't get it, guys.
Wind Waker.
Ocarina of
Time. Doodaloo.
No way.
Phantom
Magora's
Hourglass.
Magora's Mask?
Manjora.
Magora's Mask.
Mangora's mouse.
Are you
Mangora's musk.
Are you doing this one or are you getting out of this one?
I'm doing this.
Okay.
I'm doing it.
Oh gosh. All right. Sweet. Are you ready? Tilt your chair. I would also accept Hyrule Warriors.
Good to
Well,
know.
not really. Come on.
It's a Legend of Zelda
It's a
game.
Dynasty Warriors game. Let's
It's
be real.
still Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, but okay, so is Mario Kart a Zelda game because it's got Link in it?
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Mario Kart.
Hyrule Warriors is based
Is
In Hyrule.
It's
Alright,
just
alright.
it's yeah,
Alright.
okay. Fine.
3, 2, 1.
Sorry, that was Keon's fault. Okay. My father keeps bringing my estranged sister back into my life.
Get her out of there.
Yeah, trigger
Uh,
warning, substance use disorder. Also, this comes direct from our /OKstorytime subreddit. I work with my family. I have 2 sisters. I'm the youngest. And we also all live together in the same building. My father is a great businessman and wanted to instill this in all 3 of us growing up. He also has a thing about everything being even. No odd numbers for this gentleman. By the way, this comes from user CautiousStill9970. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit where this story was submitted. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers to all the problems. Okay, we just know the things that we know. So let us know the things that we don't know that you know down in the comments. And OP says, We all got a chance to study what we wanted and try a career at it, but all three of us got sucked into the family business. My middle sister, B, got put into the family business first because she picked up a pill-popping habit in college. Ooh. To the extent that people in her college course told my parents to do something. That was around when I was sitting my final year in school. B has had a lot of substance use issues to the point that a lot of my big life events were put on the back burner to get B back on track. My oldest sister, Piper, most likely feels the same, and I know she holds herself responsible due to her being parentified while we all grew up. There is almost a rhythm to it. B will get her hands on something, her health will decline, my father will throw money at the situation and get her back on track. No rehab has been used so far, by the way. My father also struggled with substances when he was younger and managed to get on the straight and narrow by himself. And he thinks everyone can and should do it by themselves. Though he did it when my mother said she would leave with the three of us if he didn't sort his crap out, so slightly different situation.
He's like, everyone should do it without any help, and I didn't do that, but that doesn't count.
Everyone should fix themselves alone, like me, because I had to do it by myself or my wife would leave me with my children. So I did it all by myself in a vacuum.
Yep. No one else existed.
Fast forward to now. Me and Piper are married, and B is not. My father found and helped convert an old sandstone building that all three of us live in. Piper's on the top floor, I'm in the middle, and B is on the bottom floor. I know.
That's crazy.
I know, but we all thought it sounded great at the time.
Feels like
You can build a house out of sandstone?
I guess so. In Minecraft you can.
That's what I'm saying. Is this a Minecraft house?
It feels like
Is this a Minecraft AI?
like Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon getting the different kingdoms and stuff, and Hades just getting the short end of the stick. That's what this feels like. Hades is Piper. Or is it B? Sorry, B's on the bottom, right?
Who's Orpheus?
B's on the bottom.
Orpheus.
Morpheus, Orpheus, Dorphuses, Walruses. Shout out. What?
Thank you for that.
Shout out Hannibal Buress for that one. She shells by the Orpheus. I used to sympathize with B mainly because I was naive to what a horrible person substances make people, even going as far as defending her, but then she started dating a horrible man we'll call Stuart that had a criminal history of all sorts. I showed this to B, and she said she didn't want to hear it. I told her about the article of him holding a gas station clerk hostage and robbing an elderly couple, and the list went on.
Wait, I'm sorry, what? She was like, don't tell me bad things about my boyfriend. I already know. And OP's like, he robbed a store at Pew Pew Point.
Yeah, who
She's like,
cares?
so everyone has a history.
Dude, he's supporting my substance use habit.
No,
I don't
it's
care what he
perfect.
did. Rob those
Yeah.
old people and take their money so we can buy stuff with it.
He didn't rob anyone. His nickname is Rob, and he was pointing at someone. That's all that happened.
It's true. He's just misunderstood. She said she'd ask him about it, but I think she just said that to get me to stop. The next day, she said that it wasn't him that did all that, and that she had done things in her past she wouldn't want brought up. I explained to her the difference of an 18-year-old popping too many pills and being a participant in a family crime ring. I genuinely argued with her till I was blue in the face about it, and she wasn't hearing any of it. I showed her more articles on his family, how they were in the news for having wars with one another.
Whoa.
Is this guy in the mafia?
I don't know.
The list went on, and the amount of research I put into this man and his family terrified me, not only for B's sake, but all of us. I told B I was worried and concerned, but that I hadn't told anyone yet. I know it sounds threatening, but I was desperate. She said she wasn't going to see him anymore and that I was right. Obviously, I was suspicious of this as she flipped a switch and was just done with him. Piper then told me that she saw B not only coming out of a bar, wasted, but with Stuart and climbing into my car my father had loaned her and driving away. She is not the best driver when sober, and I spoke to Piper about my concerns and suspicions. So it got to that point, Piper and I raised our concerns to my parents, and that not only was this guy a walking red flag, but he and B were skipping down a bad path. My father at the start told us that we had to be happy she was happy. One of my main issues with everything is that I highlighted how dangerous this man was for B and for all of us to be around, and how we could all end up being collateral damage in an old Western shootout. But my father brushed it off, saying how he had done things in his past that he wasn't proud of, and that not to worry about it, and nothing will happen. No wonder she's got a substance use disorder. What is Dad doing?
Dad does nothing. He's just like, if I don't look at it,
It's not
doesn't
happening.
exist.
Yeah.
As long as she's happy. Yeah, that's what is that how she got into pills?
She's so
Imagine
happy
the
when
pe-
she's
like
on
the-
the pills.
The school reaches out and be like, I think your daughter has a substance use problem. He's like, yeah, but it makes her so happy.
She just loves doing it.
It
She's
makes
so
you-
sad
yeah.
when
How
she's
are
not
her
on the
grades?
pills.
Good. She's doing fine.
She's doing fine.
That's
Don't
all
worry
right,
about
then.
it so much.
It's college.
Come on.
Your
Anyway,
dad kind of stinks.
so he was very nonchalant until we highlighted that we thought she was doing substances again due to her behavior. I genuinely think she was on something. And then the floodgates were open. My father told her she was fired. She couldn't drive his car anymore and had to move out of our building unless she ended things with Stuart because Piper and I felt unsafe around him. Thanks, Dad, for that. So B did just that. She broke up with him.
I think you're lying.
Yeah. So obviously she didn't break up with Stuart, and being the bottom of the building, B snuck Stuart in every day, twice a day. It was actually mildly hilarious seeing this grown man army crawl through the bushes to get to the back door. So at this point, I was done speaking to B. She was lying all the time and wasn't even good at it. It was more insulting at this point, but I think she thought she was convincing in getting away with it. I wasn't for telling my father and having another, we have to make sure B is okay. We have to team up together and help her through this kind of deal. Eventually, Stuart and my father had a sit-down conversation, and apparently, Stuart is a convincing man, as my father, if anything, brought Stuart more into the family, giving him a job to take care of the heavy equipment in the work.
Oh, Lord.
So I had to work with him and B. But you know, Piper and I said how uncomfortable it made us and how our living situation was uncomfortable too, which was met with that it was our choice to live like that, which it was. But man, I didn't realize B was going to make a lying crime lord her new main squeeze. Is he really a crime lord though?
I don't know. I don't know what this guy's deal is.
You know,
The rap sheet doesn't sound too good, though.
but people can change.
That's true.
Eventually, my father saw that the living situation wasn't going to work as Piper and I started looking at new places to move to. So my father, being a control freak, demanded we stay and offered to pay for B and her new boo to move into a house away from all of us. Why?
This
Why?
is so silly.
Why are we rewarding B's bad behavior? Why are we
Yeah.
doing this? B then announced she wasn't going to see him anymore again and that she agreed he was no good and a danger.
Okay, well, you've said that 3 times now, so I don't really
Yeah.
believe it.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, okay, this time for sure I'm breaking up with him. The other times I was lying, but this time, no, sir.
This seemed to appease my father. Stuart was still there, like nothing had happened. I told B I know she was still seeing him, but she told me that it was a one-off and to butt out. So my father and mother confronted B again, and at this point I tried to take as little to do with it as possible, which you all might think is cowardly, but I was emotionally drained at this point. It's not really cowardly. It's like, dude,
No.
why do I have to keep dealing with her BS?
I do think I would be trying to move out at this point. Regardless of what your dad says, I would be like, Dad, I need to pick myself up by the bootstraps like you're always saying and not live here.
Screw that. I'd be like, Dad, pay for me to live somewhere else. Why would you
Yeah.
pay for her to live somewhere? Pay for me. Pay for me to live somewhere.
I just wouldn't want
Hi.
to be connected with these people anymore.
So, everything went quiet. I didn't ask. I didn't need to know. B was still living downstairs, but wasn't at work anymore, which was a mild win. It comes up to Christmas. Me and Piper and our partners were invited to Christmas dinner at my parents' house, and I was under the impression B would probably be there. So, I prepared for some awkwardness. But wow, any guesses? Can you guess who else was there? Could it have been Stuart?
Stuart.
I was gonna
It's
say Santa
Stuart.
Claus. Santa Claus was there.
It was
Stuart Claus.
Stuart Claus.
Stuart Claus.
Stu Claus.
Stuart Little?
Stuart Little was there.
I don't know what happened, but he was there and welcomed into the family by parents only. Again, we had dinner like nothing had happened, though my partner was giving me eyes like, what the heck going on here the whole evening? And Piper was staring at me like she was trying to muster the strength to not say anything and could only do so by glaring at me. Then came exchanging presents and pretending the past year was fine. I had gotten a backup gift in case B was there, but oblivious to the slightest chance of Stuart being there. So I had gotten him nothing. It was an awkward, silence-riddled night. So, because of that, and also Piper and I making B feel uncomfortable and unwanted at Christmas, I know, poor B, and the months leading to my father's birthday in March, just a measuring stick, you'll see in a minute, my father began getting angry at Piper and I for still holding a grudge, also known as boundaries, and started giving me the cold shoulder at work, too. With minimum conversation, except for one-worded work-related emails, this became very obvious, to the extent people from different teams and departments were asking me if I was okay and if they could do anything. They too had experienced Stuart and knew that my father can and did force uncomfortable situations on them too. People at work have problems with Stu?
Yeah, I mean, they all work together.
What's Stuart got?
I don't know.
Stuart's got a good work ethic and a heavy machinery operating
I guess
license.
so.
He's forklift certified. Folks, if you want to override your dastardly days, become a forklift certified individual. That will solve all of your problems.
Like, apparently for Stuart.
Unbeknownst to my father, I too can be stubborn AF, and in no way would he make me do or be friendly to anyone I didn't want to. Through therapy and counseling, I figured out later that my family dynamic was very shoot the messenger-y. And me and Piper not being our normal loving sisterhoodness was a reminder to my father that his family wasn't so perfect and was actually a lie, so he was taking it out on me and Piper. Though Piper transferred to another branch away from my dad, smart girl, I again was too stubborn. So fast forward to around March 12th. I had pre-ordered a gift for my father's birthday before he was a steaming pile of dookie and thought, F it, I might as well give it to him. Though he was avoiding me, giving me the silent treatment the day of his birthday, I put his gift on his office chair and messaged him, Happy birthday, and then he said, thank you, if you mean it. I will be happy when my family stops reminding everyone of the past. Stop asking for apologies, move on together, and like and love each other. Then I will be happy.
That's crazy. OP texts, happy birthday. Thanks, if you mean it. If you could shut up about the past. OP's like, I just said happy birthday. That's all I said.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
I said, I do mean it. And I've never asked for an apology. I don't even want an apology. Father, you might not ask, but you won't let go and forgive. I'm sorry you feel that way, but it's not the case. It seems you have an issue with me and won't let go and forgive. But anyway, I honestly hope you have a happy birthday. I have an issue with all of my family.
Okay.
We did wrong when we threw B out. We, and I mean the 6 of us. Mom and I have apologized to her on many occasions, but the 4 of you can't move on and cuddle her.
Cuddle her.
Show love. She is damaged from that day, and no one wants to bring her back in. Forget the lies. Forget the bad behavior. Draw a line. Love her.
What?
Was he
Dude,
writing
you're the
a
reason
rap?
why she's like this. You're literally like, ugh, well, we have to make everything that she's ever done okay, and she can't have any consequences or repercussions, so she never learns her lesson. That's what we have to do for B.
None of this makes sense. You're a bad dad, and OP, I genuinely think you have to distance yourself from this family.
Yeah, who is
Not
he?
from Piper, but he's the dad.
Yeah, no. Who is he to draw the line? Where he's like, say for you to draw the line when he's never drawn a line ever.
Yeah.
He's like,
Draw the line, which
I
is
drew
the
it.
opposite of what you're talking about.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You're talking about erasing the line and just being like, you can do whatever you want. You step all
He
over
said-
me.
yeah,
I
he's
don't
like-
Step all
care.
over the line.
He's like, draw that
please.
line.
We will
All
forgive
right, walk over it. Yeah.
any
great.
bad behavior you've ever done in your life. We will forgive.
Draw a
And you
line.
don't even have to be sorry for it.
Pick it up and limbo underneath it.
Yeah. OP continues. Well, I didn't reply. Like, what the F am I meant to say to that? He does have a tendency to send scrollers, and we all find it easier to just leave it alone, and he would go back to normal in time. I know, that's super healthy communication, right? But him deciding to take his car back and fire her and throw B out, now he regrets it, and it's using a we and us thing, but that was his decision. So anyway, back to the story. A bit of info on my job. I manage a team of 5 construction leaders, but the bookkeepers get me to take their petty cash home with me and bring it back to them in the morning so that it's not their responsibility, which is reasonable. My father isn't always in the office, and I'm the only one that will be there every day and can be trusted and doesn't mind the responsibility. So I go to leave and go home, still the 12th of March, and put my bag into my car and find Stuart calling out my name. He says he wants to show me something. Because my father was okay with him and B now, Stuart was doing some part-time work for my father. So he shows me some of the heavy equipment that needed some replacement parts. I'm like, cool, noted, thanks. I wasn't being rude to him or anything, just cordial. I get back to my car, my bag is open. I hadn't locked my car. Half the money from the petty cash was gone.
OP. No. We got a locked car especially when we got money in there.
I know who took all that.
Yeah. It's not very hard to figure that out.
It seems like it was your sister.
Yeah. Stuart was distracting you while your sister stole your
Stuart
money.
was running a classic con.
Yep.
I don't know what the name is, but it would probably sound like the Saskatoon Doohickey or something like that.
The distract attacked.
Or something, yeah, like that. It could also sound like that, to be fair.
Mm-hmm. There's multiple names.
I break down in tears in my car. Around about then was when I realized how much all of this was taking a toll on me. I had my suspicions it was Stuart that had stolen from me, but how would I even broach that topic with my father? He already thought I had it out for B and Stuart. At this point, I'm planning on taking out money from an ATM and being done with it. When Beverly, our receptionist, and Lewis, her manager, came out and say they saw B stealing money out of my bag. I have witnesses.
Nice.
They were understandably sheepish to intervene since it was family stealing from family, but they thought I should know. I am ugly crying about now in front of people I barely know, but I have witnesses now. But even having witnesses, I wasn't confident my father would hear it from me. And I couldn't get those two angelic witnesses to go to the boss and tell him his middle daughter is a thieving little witch. So I call my mom, like a child, still ugly crying, and get her so she can tell him. She, too, had been giving me the silent treatment throughout all of this, though I feel like it was more of an I'm not getting involved type of silence.
That is involvement, though. That's direct involvement.
Yeah, lack of involvement is a choice to not be involved.
Yeah.
So you're involved, in a
You're
way.
involved.
You're involved.
You're picking a side because you're not talking to your daughter.
With your non-involvement, you are involved. I offer her to talk to the witnesses if she didn't believe me, but she did, and she spoke to my father on my behalf. So apparently stealing money from your family company you no longer work for on your father's birthday in front of employees isn't a good look. My father came into the work the following day, found not only me, the sole standing working daughter in that branch, but also found the present that I had left for him yesterday. At this point, I'm so happy I got that gift for him and left it for him. It's just like, ooh, that daughter you tried to berate into being friends with your other thieving daughter got you a gift. What did B get you? Well, a couple £100 worth of debt to the accounts department. How effing crappy is that? Yeah, it's pretty bad. But yeah, I think your father's really empathetic to her.
Overly empathetic. It's just a weird...
It's because he went through the same kind of struggle, but he also just doesn't understand that the way that he did it wasn't doing it alone, and that B probably needs to go to some kind of something.
But that's like the weird thing to me is that he has this mentality of if you get yourself into trouble, you need to go it alone and figure it out yourself. But also that's exactly the opposite of what he's doing with B. Even though it's not helpful, he's not saying, oh, we should just leave her alone and she's beyond help. He's like, everyone has to help her even when she F's everyone over 50 million times.
It's true.
It's a weird
It's a weird vibration.
paradox there.
Okay. B knew I take home the petty cash and that it's my responsibility. Did she give an F about what would happen to me when I handed that back in the following day? She knows I would have no clue what happened. She knew everyone in that office would have thought I just took it or lost it. Anyway, now believe me when I say this, I have only seen my dad cry once at his father's funeral, but he cried. And as much as I want to say I told him to go F himself for being such a ginormous D-bag, I didn't. I hugged him, though I'm still building a friendship with my father to this day because he said things within those 6 months that he can't take back. So B had truly effed her chances of my father forcing her back into the family circle. But she went on to demand money from my father, which he didn't tell me or Piper about, and it went on till my father had a heart attack that he survived and recovered from. Though it was down to stress, and though we all think and know the stress comes in a B size and shape. In reality,
super small.
That's very tiny. Yeah.
So little.
a B-sized stress, but when it stings you, boy.
Ouch. I have a very funny story about a bee.
Yeah?
I'll tell it after.
Tell us,
though.
Mark.
I'll tell it after.
In reality, he made that monster after years and years and years of catching her before she hit rock bottom and cleaning up B's messes. So as much as we occasionally joke about B being the cause of that, it all stems from my father's life choices. And by the way, you should make a life choice to listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platforms like iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Just search OK Storytime.
Do it. Do it now.
And you can listen until the bees buzz their final
Huh?
biz.
The buzz, the final biz.
Yes.
What?
And there is just a little bit. They got bee business, okay?
Let's hit it. I think
I think
The
we all
same
know.
thing. We already know. Your father kind of sucks. And now he's realizing that B does too. And that's great. But also, I think you got to limit contact for just a little. You don't have to go full no contact. But like, I think limiting would put, your mind at peace a little bit.
Yeah.
Because this drama is too much.
It's too much for everyone. Yeah.
Too much drama. Make me bumba. So this was all about a year ago, and B and Stuart still live downstairs. I just take nothing to do with her. I would move, but I love my flat, my home, and have come to whisper to myself, not my circus, not my monkeys, enough that I'm happy for B to turn into an estranged neighbor at best. I am truly done with her, and though it does make me sad sometimes because we were really close, but now we're not. We're not anything. I guess we all grow up eventually, even if it's just me doing the growing. I have cameras everywhere now, and that crap isn't happening twice, and next time I'm calling the police. And that is the end of that story.
Sure is. Sure is.
Sometimes you just gotta call the police on your sister because she's stealing the petty cash right out of your work truck.
Yeah, I mean, she keeps stealing from you, or at least she's stolen from you once already. It's not a type of person we need to keep in our lives until she really turns her life around, which is not going to happen anytime soon, I think. But we got another story coming up.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. It's in my hands.
And I'm going to turn the air.
It's right here in my hands. You're gonna turn the air off? It's because she's a little tiny creature. You are such a small creature that the air penetrates into your bones and you become icy. I'm icy. I'm clean. I forgot that song.
What? I'm trying to bring the thingy closer to me. So
Oh,
might
it's
put it there. There
back.
we go.
It's
a monkey. Just a
back.
monkey
Little
again.
monkey.
Just a little capuchin monkey. All right.
All right, we ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
My ex dumped me while pregnant. Now he wants to co-parent.
Well, you shouldn't have dumped me, you little dumper.
And this comes directly from the r/OKstorytime subreddit. My ex-partner and I separated at the start of June, and our baby was born at the end of June. We were together for a little over 3 years and lived together for about 1.5 years. We are both over 30, me 35, female, and he 32 male. By the way, this comes from Salt Scarcity 6693, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit where this was submitted. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments.
Wait,
What?
what's your B story?
Oh. I could
After.
just tell it after this story.
We'll
I was just
forget
going to
it.
do it at the end. I
We'll
won't
forget
forget.
it
Just
again.
remind me to tell my B story. It's
I
funny.
can't. I'll forget as well.
OP says, my ex-partner initiated the separation, telling me in June that he doesn't love me anymore and wanted to leave. I said
Aw.
that maybe we shouldn't be together anymore then, and we separated. He said he had been thinking about this for about 1 year, so before I was pregnant.
Why are you gonna think about that for a year
A
and do
year?
nothing and say nothing? Come on, dog.
A
What
year,
are we doing?
dude. We are coworkers and met at the same workplace. My ex-partner's friend had told him earlier to share his feelings before my pregnancy. Yeah! But he didn't listen. Then he met a new coworker, 34 female, who is his girlfriend now. She told him at the end of May to tell me his feelings, and he followed her advice. He didn't cheat on me. He wanted to quit our relationship before he did something like that, in his own words. He and the new woman started doing things together as friends after our separation and started officially dating in August when they went on a trip abroad together. The girlfriend doesn't want to be in the child's life and wants a child-free life. Then why did you try to start hooking up with a guy who had a kid? Seems pretty stupid of you.
Seems counterintuitive.
She accepted the fact that he has a child, though. He told her that we're just friends, which is true. We are not interested in each other romantically anymore. He came to the hospital to support the delivery and saw his child being born. I appreciate his support, but I wanted more support when at the hospital. I felt so bad when he left me and the baby at the hospital and went to a restaurant with the new woman. I cried a lot and talked with the nurses. One of the nurses was very stressed with her work and was very rude and mean to me. I just wanted to get out of the hospital as soon as possible. Thankfully, they didn't hold me there too long. We bought an apartment together in May, and I started living in the empty apartment with the baby, although he came to get us from the hospital. You and your ex started living together? I guess to co-parent?
That
Tough.
seems like that's a really hard situation.
Yeah. He lives with his friend nearby, and now, after 4 months, he's going to get all of his stuff from our apartment and give the key to me. I asked him to do this, and he agreed. He used to eat, shower, and do his laundry here, too. Now he doesn't do those things here anymore, and if he eats here, he goes shopping and makes his own sandwiches. I used to pay for his phone bills too, but I said now that he needs to do that himself. You were paying for your ex's phone bills? What? You are too nice, OP. This is letting him walk all over you.
Is he paying you back?
I don't think so.
Why? Why did we do that?
He was like this in our relationship also. He sat on the computer and I did everything at home. He didn't even do anything nice with me, like go to a restaurant or abroad on a trip. I asked him many times, but he didn't want to. He was very cold emotionally too. He said that's just how he is. He just sucks.
He's just a stinky little guy.
He wanted to save money for the apartment, and thanks to him, we could pay the needed amount beforehand to the bank. We own the apartment 50-50. Why did we do this? Why did we? I understand maybe having a shared place to co-parent.
For a while.
I understand having a shared place to co-parent, but it seems like you bought, unless I'm mistaken, seems like you got this place after you separated, which is kind of bonkers to me.
Are you sure?
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. And maybe they did it before. Oh, yeah, maybe you got it before. I'm not sure. If you got it before, that makes sense. We don't want to sell the apartment because we haven't lived there that long, and if we would sell it now, we wouldn't get any money back because of the taxes. Okay, so I think you got it before. I was so stressed about everything that I couldn't breastfeed my baby anymore. The milk stopped coming, so now I'm using formula and the baby is content with that, thankfully. Now he has been seeing our baby several times a week during the day. I'm alone at nights, usually for 4 to 5 hours. When he comes to visit, he usually brings his computer and does work and school stuff in between taking care of the baby. He works a lot. He is a workaholic. He feeds the baby and plays with the baby, but doesn't change diapers. That is a key aspect of taking care of a baby.
Yeah, poopy diaper man.
And it's also not hard. I also help him with work and school stuff weekly, usually checking his spelling and helping with writing a little. He said he can help me next year when I go back to work and do remote studies at school at the same time. So we help each other this way, and he gets to have time with our baby, and I get some alone time without the baby and help with taking care of the baby. He plans to have his paternity leave next year so I can go back to work, at least part-time. He is going to be with the baby during the days in our apartment when I'm at work. He can't take the baby to his friend's house because his friend hasn't agreed to that. He supports us monetarily. We have a contract for child support, and the baby gets the same amount every month. We have talked about getting a better bed for the baby and plan to pay for it together. We have shared custody of the baby, but we haven't signed any contract about the meeting times yet. He said he can't because of his work and became irritated when I mentioned it. By the way, I would become irritated if you didn't listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
Literally all you got to do.
Yeah. I think that it seems like you guys were still together when you had all of these like housing things and such like that. But it seems like he's still not an active participant in, raising your child monetarily or otherwise.
Yeah, he's just doing the playing.
Which maybe we have to go the legal route now, if that's an issue.
Yeah.
That's my suggestion, because you deserve to get money from him for your kid. We are planning to have this co-parenting and helping each other relationship for 2 years and then sell the apartment. Or I'm possibly buying the apartment for myself. I can't afford it now. So what do you think? Should we continue this arrangement? Is it beneficial to me? Somebody said to me that he benefits more from this than me, but he stands to lose more if we quit this arrangement. What do you think I should do? I don't want to lose money or end up homeless, and I want our baby to grow up having a father. I'm not interested in any relationships at the moment, even though I feel lonely sometimes. I want to focus on myself and the baby at the moment, so taking a new partner isn't a good option at the moment either. And that is the end of the story. Is it beneficial? I can't tell you if it's beneficial. Are you feeling like you are receiving the help financially and just like the physical help of raising your child? Or not? You got to answer that question for yourself.
You have the answer to that. It's inside of you. It's inside of your heart and your mind.
I was gonna say maybe get something on paper.
Oh yeah, I think absolutely go the legal route.
Yeah, because yes, thankfully he's there to help out and just didn't abandon y'all. But he's doing the bare minimum. I think Dakota said that.
Yeah, I mean of course he didn't abandon y'all because it's like he gets more out of this than
money.
Yeah,
than he loses.
He literally does not have the money to abandon.
Yeah. like you're his spell checker. You help him out with other things too. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's like you kind of taking care of him while taking care of the baby.
But that's the
Yikes.
end of that story. And we've got some comments from the video. Girlfriend outed me as a cheater. I didn't cheat. And this was posted July 18th, 2025. And this TLDR comes from story 1. OP went on a great first date with Danielle, but she panicked and posted his picture to a huge cheaters Facebook group to check his loyalty. His private life got exposed, friends and coworkers saw it, and she initially lied about it. OP realized the trust was broken before anything serious even started. If you're curious to know the full story, you can go watch the full video.
I think I remember this one.
I
kind
don't
of
remember this one.
And I remember it being like, yeah, if you go on a date with somebody and they're immediately like,
Did this guy cheat?
is this guy a cheater? Does this guy, they're just not ready to date
No,
anybody.
because
Yeah.
like, why would you assume that about someone?
Well,
Right
probably
off, yeah.
because
Right off
They
the
had
bat.
because you have experience of that,
it happened.
and you're not ready to go on a date.
Yeah. But we have some comments
You
here.
gotta believe in the positivity.
You okay?
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
Both
No,
of you-
he's not.
No.
I'm fine,
Yeah.
dude. I don't know what any of y'all are talking about. I'm fine.
Terrifying.
But we do have some comments here. First one is from Mango Lilac, saying, appearing on an "Are we dating the same guy?" doesn't mean that someone is a cheater. It is a way for women to help each other and keep each other safe. Unfortunately, a friend of mine found out that her husband was on there and had dated a ton of women in the area.
Tough.
Some women who had dated him from dating apps had posted his profile or profiles to check because he was being wishy-washy and something just wasn't adding up. My friend had friends who were part of the Facebook group and gathered the info from the women who posted and the many who confirmed they also dated him and shared the info with my friend. They confirmed that it was indeed her husband, and the women who dated him from the apps were super nice and, of course, horrified. He is now her ex-husband. It truly is meant to protect women, and appearing on there doesn't mean that someone is a cheater. It's often women trying to be safe and verify. There are also men who will appear, and women who know or who have previously dated that person can verify they're also they're good people to date, and not a crazy person or a cheater.
Yeah. I think
The
there's
good and the bad.
Yeah, there's uses, and there's it kind of goes overboard in this situation,
Oh, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
and that's just how life is.
And we have another comment here by IH Waffles 4534. Are we dating the same guy can be helpful and harmful. Some people are just plain mean about looks, etc. Then there are real reports of not great people. You see guys married with kids, or have criminal records and would be a danger to children. I've also seen a bunch of women talk great things about a guy. So it can technically vary. The point was to make sure the person isn't lying about being single, etc. Men and women both cheat and lie. There is also a group of we dating the same woman for guys. And from what I've seen in there aren't any better than the females group. So it goes for both.
Yeah, I'm assuming in the cheating forum, you're gonna find some cheaters.
Yeah, they're gonna be.
Yeah, they will be
They're
there.
gonna be around.
And
You know?
we have one more comment from Deshania 7419. 2 weeks? ? What the F? If you have to use that site, just break up.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's true.
But that's the end of that section and the end of this episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow. Hey, don't leave yet. We've got some stories that we think you'll enjoy, so stay tuned for the next one.
My sister-in-law said I don't deserve my new home. Now their family is in shambles.
Well, she doesn't deserve to speak.
I'm afraid of her. My husband, 38 male, and I, 33 female, just bought our first house. My husband has a pretty high-paying job. I work and make a decent salary, but our budget to buy our house was definitely influenced more by his earnings. By the way, this comes from user Cat Drama on the TwoHotTakes subreddit, and if you want to submit your own stories, why don't you go over to the r/okstorytime subreddit. So, we had his family over last week. Generally, I loved his parents. They have always been really good to me, and they're fun. I've not spent as much time with his sister outside of holiday gatherings, but we do have her son, the husband's nephew, stay with us for a week over the summer the last few years. So I know him well too, and I love him. Everyone mentioned above comes over and we show them around the house. At one point, I'm showing sister-in-law the kitchenette in the basement, and I say something like, "It's great that our house has this space now, so if you want to visit us, you'll have basically a whole separate apartment." And she goes, "Our? Is it also your house?" I'm immediately confused, but also I guess she could have assumed my husband had bought it on his own. So I said, "Yeah, we bought it together." And she goes, "Do you think you deserve to own half of this house?"
Yeah, we bought it together.
Yeah, he's my husband. I don't know. I just think that's crazy.
Well, you can keep your thoughts to yourself.
Yeah, because I think he's my husband.
And I think we bought it together.
I was shocked, and I mostly panicked. And I said, "Well, I do. Yeah." I fled to the basement. I immediately told my husband away from his family, and he in turn immediately went to talk to his sister. I went to hang out with his parents and didn't say anything to them, but then we heard shouting outside. My husband and his sister were yelling at each other. I know people are different with their siblings, but I've never really heard him yell before. I could hear him tell her that we don't have a prenup, and she called him an idiot. I had to tell his parents what was going on, and they went and intervened and left pretty quickly with his sister and nephew, who didn't hear any of this through the magic of video games, I think. His mom said sorry to me on the way out. I did touch base with my husband, and he was livid, like way more angry than I'd expect. He told me that before we got married, his sister was the beneficiary of his life insurance, and he thought she was angry over essentially being removed from all his assets. We'd been married for 3 years.
Does she think that she deserved that?
Do you think you deserve that? She apparently had texted him about being added onto the house paperwork a few weeks ago during the buying process, and he just ignored her.
That's actually
rightfully so, because that's cringe.
crazy.
His parents have reached out to me and have been very sweet and apologetic, but they really want to fix things and have asked if I'll talk to sister-in-law. I'm trying to step away from it and just say it's now between my husband and his sister. Is that fair? Of course, I'm a bit hurt by her saying that, but at the end of the day, if she has problems with how he's handling his assets, that's between the two of them. Right? I feel really bad because his family has always been so sweet and I really love his nephew, so I also want things to be fixed. There is an edit. I will make an update, but we have plans to chat about it today, speak to his parents, and figure out how we want to go forward. I agree with essentially all of you, and I'm not planning to discuss it with her until she apologizes. And to answer some common questions, nephew's dad is not and has not been in the picture for a long time. Sister-in-law has been in and out of relationships with not the best type of dudes. She is younger and there's no other siblings. Yes, there's been a pattern of her getting more help from their parents, but it's because she really needs it, being a single mom, and my husband has always been pretty independent. I promise I don't tell every person on the street about our lack of a prenup. My husband did come into the marriage with a lot of assets, so I think when his friends and family expressed curiosity about a prenup, it was coming from a place of concern or care for him, and I love that, so it felt appropriate to share how we made that decision. No one ever pushed back. I've never talked to his sister about it, and I think she didn't know, but my husband sort of yelled at her in anger in a "we don't even have a prenup" kind of way. We are planning on kids, but could still keep up what we are currently doing for nephew even if we did, and he just became an official teenager, so the college fund is close to complete. At this stage, we don't add much money to it anymore. It's just accruing. And we have some comments. But before we get into those comments, what are your comments?
I just think that I agree with you, OP. I don't think that it's really your business to have that conversation with the sister-in-law. I think that's absolutely your partner's responsibility, because what would you even say to her? Like, she's like, "You don't deserve that." And you're like, "So, hey, remember when you said that I didn't deserve that? I do."
Yeah, you just go back to her. You go, I was thinking about it really hard. And it turns out I do actually deserve that.
I don't know how you would even have that conversation because she's so clearly wrong.
You should go ask my husband if he thinks I deserve to be a part of the house.
Yes.
Why don't you go ask him?
That would be great.
Comments. Comment number 1. What could you possibly say to your sister-in-law? Exactly. I think you say that the issue isn't really about you. It's about how sister-in-law thinks everything that's your husband's is also hers. That's something your husband needs to set straight, not you. You just sit there and stay pleasant. You handled this perfectly. It's not your battle and your husband has your back. Clearly, sister-in-law sounds insane. OP says, "I know this is right, but it's just really frustrating. We've had the awkward conversation of explaining why we don't have a prenup to some friends and family, and I really don't mind getting into those topics or talking about those things. Which at the end of the day, it's also like none of your business.
Yeah.
Unless your friend is like a prenup, what's that? Like if
Yeah.
they're informed and they've made their decision,
Why are it's
no
too
one
late.
else's
It's also
decision.
Too late.
right?
It's also just
Can
simply,
you do that proactively?
You mean after the fact?
Or yeah, proactive would definitely be the wrong word.
Yeah.
Proactive
would be
Post-active?
post nup
Or reactively?
yeah, sure. I don't know.
Can you just like make an agreement? You're like, hey, yeah, Mr. Lawyer, I would like it so that if we split up, I get half the money.
Well, it wouldn't be a prenup anymore because that's prenup.
A post-nup.
It would be a post-nup.
That's that post-nup clarity.
Post-nup.
I know this is different because she's not coming from a place of curiosity or just wanting to understand, but it's wild to me that it jumped this quickly, so suddenly when we bought a house. Comment number 2 says, I don't think you need to do anything. Your husband took care of his greedy sister for you. And we have an update, so let's get into it. Holy crap, y'all. I was not expecting that much feedback. Holy moly. Y'all, I was not expecting that much feedback, but I'm super grateful. It was really affirming and validating to read a lot of those comments. And a bit humbling too. This recent move did move us a little bit out of town, so I'm still close to my social circle, but didn't immediately have someone to vent to. And you all were really helpful in that way. So, update. She was secretly planning to make him disappear to get his life insurance money. Just kidding. No, not really. After talking a bunch with both my husband and his parents, we figured out a few things. He didn't tell her that he's replaced her as the beneficiary on everything because he assumed she would know that. So she had texted him during the home purchase, hey, do you need my signature on anything for this new house? He had messaged her back, no? Question mark, question mark, question mark. She then essentially asked if the house was an asset set up like his life insurance, and he told her that everything is set up fine and that I'm on all the paperwork, and she responded, okay, smiley face. So I do think part of this is her truly not knowing how marriage is supposed to work, and she seems to have expected there wouldn't be any change. I found out she also mentioned this with their parents. Her main concern being that if something happened to my husband, I wouldn't help her son like we've been doing as a couple. Mother-in-law and father-in-law say they told her not to worry and that I love our nephew, but that's what was going on behind the scenes before all of this. Mother-in-law and father-in-law also admitted that they may have unintentionally encouraged this because they've always really encouraged their kids to support each other. But due to the various dynamics at play, what that ends up being is pressure on my husband and a sort of, your brother will always be there for you message to his sister. This was particularly strong in the last few years before I met and married him because his parents thought he was planning to be a lifelong bachelor. They're not wrong in this. He definitely had that mindset at that time. And so then he and his sister really were, in their eyes, each other's lifelong person. So the last few years, there had been this level of fallout I wasn't even aware of due to that. And by the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this due to the fact that we are on Spotify and iHeartRadio and Apple Podcasts and pretty much anywhere you can listen to podcasts, period. Just search OK Storytime, the name of this show, and you can listen to over 2,000 episodes. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Have we learned anything?
We've learned that his sister is got weird expectations, and the parents are like, yeah, but we encourage that.
Yeah.
And they need to sit the sister down and tell her what's what.
Yep. Sometimes you just
don't-
gotta go, okay.
And you don't need to be involved in any of that.
Hey, handle your sister, husband.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's on.
Because it's not even like, she said all that and you like got really mad at her and was like, rah, 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 rah.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. You literally were like, she was like, do you think you deserve that? And you said, yes. And then she's like, rah, rah, rah. And you're like, okay, bye. And you ran away. Cut and dry.
Pretty perfect response the whole way through. I also learned sister-in-law is in a not so great financial situation. Due to past issues, the whole family essentially refuses to give her cash, but will do things like buy groceries or pay phone bills, etc. So she's been struggling, and I think feeling a little desperate and jealous. Oh, of course, none of this is an excuse, and I'm not speaking to her until I get an apology. My husband has also said he needs at least a week or two before he speaks to her, but he does plan to. His parents are totally in agreement and understand. They're going to tell her that we talked about the dynamics at play and that she needs to acknowledge what is going on here and take accountability for her part in it. So hopefully that'll start things off in the right direction. Being too understanding and too flexible has been a difficulty for me for a long time. Having feedback about how truly effed up the situation was really helpful. helpful for me. So thank you. For me, there's a fine line between being unbothered and being a doormat, and I'm definitely working on differentiating those two. And that is the end of that story.
Well, there you go, folks.
Well, that's a good, yeah, know when you're being a doormat and know when you're
just not
being a chill guy.
Yeah, sometimes you're just really not, you don't need to be involved in the situation.
I feel like this was a chill guy kind of moment.
Yeah.
Just like in the moment, I'm going to be chill about that because, yeah, what? Okay.
Yeah, like I've been in a situation where a person's just like screaming at me and I'm like, I'm actually not involved in this.
Yeah, you're like, since I have no investment in this, I actually don't care.
Yeah.
I hope you feel better about whatever it is. I'm going to eat hummus.
Yeah. My sister-in-law is purposefully excluding me. Even my mother-in-law is upset at her.
Everyone's mad at sister-in-law.
So I am now officially engaged per the Indian culture to my SO of 1.5 years. We had traditional American engagement and did an Indian engagement later on to fulfill the wish of my future mother-in-law. Future mother-in-law is great and we get along extremely well. And she started calling me her future daughter-in-law at her eldest son's wedding. By the way, this comes from Randomness Butterfly. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. So, her daughter-in-law, my future sister-in-law, is a brat. I helped her plan an American-style wedding as I was a prior wedding planner. My future mother-in-law was overwhelmed and with how I was raised, agreed to help her because honestly, she had never been to an American wedding and didn't know what to do. I lived in a different state, like 2,000 miles away, and pointed out to my SO, this should be their gift because if I was to charge them my rates, it would be well expensive as I would have to cultivate new contacts and add my travel expenses. Moving forward, I helped put this wedding together and also was a part of the wedding party. I only asked she covered my dress as I was putting in a lot of time in getting her wedding together. She agreed to cover it, but never did and complained that the dress was $280. Yeah, I was so pissed because she thinks everything should be free. And I pointed out paying for my dress will be the least she can do because I was putting her wedding together while she was in India.
Isn't that sort of like the lowest expectation is you pay for the bridesmaid's dress?
Yeah, that's just like, she's asking for one thing. She's like, I'm literally putting together your wedding for free. I did what my future mother-in-law asked and helped put the wedding together for her, including talking to vendors and putting decorations together and a backdrop for them in the reception. Also, during the wedding, I was put into being a host role to help my future mother-in-law out along with my SO. We pulled off a miracle with only 1 month to plan. I have more stories of the crazy that followed after the wedding, but this gives you an idea. SO and I are visiting for the holidays after we got engaged, Indian engagement in November. Future sister-in-law and future brother-in-law did not come to our engagement. My understanding is that this was not good per their culture. Instead, they drove the 6 hours to my future mother-in-law's house, cleaned, and put up a new picture, including a photo we all took, and that they had purposely cut me out of the photo. Dang, they don't like you.
Criminal.
You can see my hand on my SO's arm, but not me. I am hurt by this. I did all this work to pull off a miracle during the vid on short notice. I would like to point out we've been American engaged since June. I want to call and scream at her, but I do not want to upset mother-in-law who is already upset because future sister-in-law cut me out of the photo. I am so done with her. I have pointed out I do not want her at my wedding as she is all about the drama and I'd rather have fun. Any advice on how to handle this? And some comments say, comment one says, rather than call and yell at your future sister-in-law, I would put her on a severe information diet. Definitely don't give her any details about your wedding. Your life is no longer any of her business. She should consider herself lucky to get an invitation. And to be honest, that's totally up to you if you and your partner want to invite her. Personally, I wouldn't invite someone to my wedding who took advantage of me, ignored my work for them, and snubbed me with a family photo crop. You don't have to say anything to your future mother-in-law. You're allowed to hold your boundaries without explanation. She might not love that her daughter is not involved with your wedding, but she also might understand. You get to decide whom you involve in your day and how. OP says, SO and I already talked about low contact with both future brother-in-law and sister-in-law. For other reasons, before this happened, we are in a bit of a hard spot because future brother-in-law is the best man, cultural reasons. I know SO doesn't want to cause war with the only family he has stateside, but he also wants me to be happy and welcomed. Save the dates have been sent, and I am really considering forgetting to send the invite.
but Indian culture is so different. I am an outsider. But there are a lot more comments. Do you have any thoughts before we get into those comments?
I think regardless of if it's like the right or deserved or not, I think probably play politics here until, just to like placate the extended family.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to like have the whole, again, it does, you're not in the wrong. Of course she's in the wrong, but it's like, how often are you actually going to have to deal with this person outside of this context? It's like,
well, yeah. And if it is a lot, then maybe it's like post-wedding, because you're saying there are a lot of cultural reasons that you have to invite her for. Then maybe post-wedding, that's when we are like, okay, you already wanted to limit contact, so maybe that's when we start.
Right.
Push back.
It's a timing issue at this point. It's like just doing it in a way that doesn't turn maybe all of these people like against you in some way.
OP then adds, right now, sister-in-law and brother-in-law are at mother-in-law's house, and the gold frame photo of me, not cut out, is next to theirs. So husband is waiting to hear how that went because his mother truly does not like sister-in-law. I am still very upset with mother-in-law, and that is truly because she has allowed old beliefs to run her life. The family has made husband the scapegoat for years, and because I refuse to bend to the demands of others, I am now the problem, according to brother-in-law. Brother-in-law does unfortunately influence mother-in-law. Old tradition states that the eldest son is like the husband to the mother if the father is no longer in the picture. The 36-year-old second-year residency in emergency medicine wanted to let his vid-sick wife into the same home that his elderly mother, who's diabetic and sibling, was staying at. Yeah, I had no issue telling him he was out of line and needed to go to his place. I was the only one who had it in her right mind to say, no, you can't bring someone with the vid into your mom's home. Clearly, you're a bad doctor. So because of that, I'm a problem. Mother-in-law just refuses to apologize for threatening husband in my wedding day, and I won't let them get away with brushing it under the rug. I'm almost 30, and I've had enough BS that if you're unkind, I'll just cut you off. Husband agrees and is aware I posted on Reddit. OP continues, I was already not going to have her in my wedding party. I have several friends who have been through heck and back with me, and I have 3 other sister-in-laws in my family who would outrank her. Yeah, don't have the sucky one in your bridal party.
I think the whole point is that it's like kind of being forced upon, foisted upon her.
I told my SO and he agrees, but also knows he has to be careful to not cause too many waves. He is the youngest, and we both decided we might not follow all traditions when it comes to our wedding. Update. Thank you all for commenting. So here's the current update. We took down the photo while staying at mother-in-law's because it was causing so much drama, and future husband knew that seeing the photo hurt me. So we asked mother-in-law if we could have it put out of sight for the duration of our visit, and she agreed. Future husband and I are heading back home soon, hopefully due to weather, and mother-in-law was very upset she would have to see the photo again because brother-in-law and sister-in-law are now suddenly wanting to visit to check on the house. Insert eye roll. Yeah, I found out they're trying to make claim to mother-in-law's home by also saying they take care of dear mom, so we should get the house. Total BS. What?
That's just insane.
They're like, yeah, we're coming over because we want your house. I know you're alive, but we want your house.
There's just no context to that. Like, or it's like, imagine applying that to like a business context.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I've done a lot of work for the company, so I think I'll be CEO. And it's just like,
I want the business. It's mine now.
I mean, we appreciate what you've done, but that seems like maybe a bit of a jump.
This, of course, unsettled mother-in-law because they are acting like she's going to pass away this year. Yeah, the 65-year-old woman who manages 6 properties and the vid traveled to India on her own every year. Yeah, sure, she's unable to take care of herself. Today, mother-in-law made an offhand comment. I don't want to see that photo, but I must put it back because they're coming. Yeah, I was ready to make a move. Ordered the photo sister-in-law cut me out of, and a bunch of other photos from future husband and my engagement and engagement photos used in the announcement. Made sure I had the one photo printed out in the largest print I could get tonight. Went to the store, got frames in gold, hers were in black. Came home, put the frames together, and even let mother-in-law choose some of the photos to put in. Got 3 frames, 1 large, 1 medium, and a mixed small frame, all in gold. Put the photo she cut me out of next to sister-in-law's and had mother-in-law choose where the other frames should go. Ladies and gentlemen, my mother-in-law was so pleased. I think I gained more favor as she put the photos near the TV and fireplace. At this moment, future husband is happy and I am too. I'll update when this progresses, but wanted to let you all know before we head back to our 2,000-mile home way.
Away home.
I will update as this progresses, but wanted to let you all know before we head back home. Update 2.
I think all of this comes down to like, there's a lot of nitty gritty, little political intrigues going on here. Me personally, I don't have the energy for any of that. I just will stop caring. That's just me though. I'm not saying that that's what you should do. Like if I'm like, all right, and now the ungrateful sister-in-law cut me out of the photo. Okay, I don't care.
Yeah, distance. Just
ungrateful
distance.
sister-in-law is ungrateful. I don't care. I'm not
Seems
gonna
like
let
your
it really
mom likes
impact
you
me.
guys.
Right. That's the only one that really matters.
Yeah.
Does mom like me? Does dad like me? Whatever.
And there we go. Check, check.
Boom. So kill him with kindness.
Update 2. So this is an update regarding the actions of my fiance's sister-in-law, who has literally cut me out of a group photo. I was not only her bridesmaid, but her wedding planner. So wow, these 2 months have been busy. My lovely fiance has started a new job that we are both so happy and excited about. And we both realize we can be debt-free and afford the things we really want for our big day, as well as help out some of our wedding party who might need a little assistance. It is important to note that we've chosen not to inform sister-in-law and brother-in-law, as brother-in-law is notorious for asking for a loan and never paying back, or having mother-in-law pay his debts to my fiance. I have the shiny backbone to say no, and thankfully my fiance found his and has been echoing the same. Brother-in-law is becoming a doctor and will be in his 3rd year of residency by the time our wedding occurs. Needless to say, fiance was asked by brother-in-law via mother-in-law to see if he can borrow one of our cars. He told mother-in-law no, and even said he would check with me, as we are already going to be having a lot of my family coming in. I agreed with the no by pointing out that they can afford to rent a car, especially after we rented a large SUV for their wedding when we could have gotten a smaller car. I also pointed out that one of my brothers is financially tight, being a single income with kids, and his wife being permanently disabled. We both agreed he needs one of our cars more than his brother, who is a bloody doctor and has no problem flaunting their purchases on the Insta.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I'm like, you guys can afford it.
Especially, but regardless of if they can even afford it, like, I think it's just the principle of, like, what happened with the wedding was so inherently, like, ungrateful.
Yeah.
It's like, why would I give you anything?
Exactly.
I did all this stuff for you, and all I got back was nothing.
Nada. Also, my brother has agreed to help get mother-in-law to and from places as a favor to use one of our cars, which is a win for us. So as we all noticed, weddings are expensive, and I managed to build a bit of a business relationship with one of the Indian shops in my area. The owner was willing to cut me a deal if I could get the men's measurements ASAP while he's in India, so we could pay lower labor costs. Fiance sent the group of groomsmen, including his brother, the list of measurements needed. All but his brother got us the measurements within a week. This last weekend was the deadline we gave the groomsmen to get us the measurements, so my contact can get the outfits made on time to come back. Fiance gets a call from his brother. Now this is what I know of the conversation. Keep in mind, his brother should be lucky I was not near when this happened. Fiance, hey, did you get your measurements? Brother, no, I've been kicking the can because you and OP upset dad. Fiance, what are you talking about? When did we do that? Brother, I just know dad has been crying and upset because of what OP said and said something about having to pay half the wedding. Do you know anything about that? Fiance, what are you talking about? We never talked about the wedding to dad. Brother, well, any woman who offends my family, no matter who she is, isn't welcomed. I hope you choose better. My fiance was so bothered, he called me right away and told me I lost it. How dare they give him an ultimatum? My mother heard me and told my fiance to come over and we could go over the conversation. He said he needed to pick up some groceries but should be over within the hour. In the process, his mother called and asked if he talked to brother-in-law. And he said yes, but was very bothered by the call and would call back. Once my fiance came over, I was still mad and upset. After we talked, my fiance was so done with the drama of his brother, and he was not happy with the any woman comment. He called up his mom and told her that due to the drama and with what he has on his plate alone, he had to remove brother-in-law from the lineup and as best man. He is still invited to the wedding, but isn't allowed to be in the wedding party.
Yeah, if you tell me I shouldn't marry my wife, you're not gonna be my best man.
Nope. Why would I want you next to me while I'm marrying the person you don't like?
I'm gonna put you in the back and make you the worst man.
Worst man of the wedding. His mother at this point agrees and proceeds to call his brother and tell him, at which brother-in-law kept asking if this was my fiance's decision only, and I had no influence on this. My fiance pointed out to him that as his wife, of course I will always influence him, but it's still his decision, and he will always choose to protect me, and it was his choice to remove brother-in-law from the wedding. His brother sounded fine. We went about our day as we had other things to do. In the process, I remembered recording the conversation we had with his dad as we'd been trying to solve what was said to upset him. We listened to that call and nothing was said other than we are not responsible for other people's choices, nor are they responsible for ours. We did this calmly, and honestly, I was impressed with myself for keeping my temper down. So we kept this in our back pocket. That night, fiance and mother-in-law talked, and she does this whole 180 about how dare he not involve his brother, and even threatens to not come. She and I share some words about how dare she manipulate her youngest because her eldest is being a brat like his wife, and she should respect the fact we want no drama. He and her have these on and off phone calls and ended up making her promise no matter what that she'll come and let us handle this. The next day his father calls. We really didn't want to take this call as we both know his father loves to manipulate fiance, as we both witnessed it from the recording. So fiance puts it on speaker so I and my mother can hear. Hey dad, what was brother-in-law talking about that you were upset over? Dad, oh, pause. My son, I'm upset because you and OP are getting a prenup agreement and she'll take your money away when you make more money. I about blew up and my mom signaled to me to be quiet and listen. Fiance, where are you hearing that? There is no prenup. Dad, she'll take you to the cleaners. She'll take more than half your income, make you broke. You'll lose your income, your life, everything.
Learn from me, son. Don't do this.
It was clear they have no idea what a prenup is and are clearly speaking out of line. Fiance, Dad, there's no prenup. There's never been one drafted, and whoever you got this from is wrong. Tell brother-in-law he needs to check his facts before spreading rumors about me and OP. I'm done with this conversation. Ended call.
Boom.
At this point, we confirmed we were being gaslit and manipulated. We both agreed it's us against the world, and as many would say, F 'em. That night, fiance and mother-in-law talked, and she does this whole 180 again about how dare he not involve his brother, and even threatens to not come, and even dares us to postpone the wedding. I was shattered, as I had this experience before and ended up being left at the altar because my ex chose his mother. Oof.
Dang.
My fiance was livid and told his mom, I am marrying OP on our wedding date, and if you do not support us, that's fine. We'll get married without you there. Which I'm glad he stood up to his mom, but my heart was broken. They did this whole phone on and off thing for a few hours. We figured she'd call fiance, then brother-in-law, then fiance. She plays peacekeeper instead of peacemaker, but doesn't let sleeping dogs lie. But I would never lie to you, because you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
I dare you.
I dare.
I double dog dare you.
And there's a little bit left to this story. But do you have any final thoughts?
Dude, like Ray's, I get like, this is a cultural issue. It seems like partially that it's like, it has to be and happen a certain way. And it's like, family politics and cultural expectations and all that. And I say, okay, no. Like if
at this point, it seems like you guys are like sick of everyone. So it's like even trying to acquiesce to all of the cultural stuff, it's like you don't even want any of them there.
If I get to a point where I'm forced to choose between the peace of me and my partner versus like coalescing to like the expectations of others, I'm always going to pick peace.
Peace.
I'm always going to pick peace.
Pick the peace. Choose the peace.
And this was not very peaceful.
No. But let's finish the story off. She wanted to talk to me and my fiance said no, and that it was not a good idea because she wouldn't like the results, which was right. I was done playing nice and would have called her by my ex's mother's name. After the phone calls ended, we both agreed it's us against the world, and thank God we have my parents who said, you guys need not listen to any parent once you agreed to be married. We know what you're going through, and just know we love you both and support you. We will make sure you both get down that aisle and get married. My dad, who honestly has been more of a father to my fiance than his dad, told him, you're my son, and no one's gonna get away with hurting you or my daughter. There will be a day of reckoning, and you two only need to worry about your relationship with each other and what flavor of cake you want. I so love my parents, and I'm glad we have them to support us and provide us a safe space. So wedding is still on, and fiance has informed me his mother did apologize, but he pointed out she needed to apologize to me and to let me cool down. It's been a lot, and he has wondered if others have experienced the same. Right now, we've been doing self-care by taking dance lessons.
Nice.
And talking with our pastor as to how to handle this with respect. And folks, that's the end of that story.
Yes, it is.
And the end of this episode.
Respectfully.
Respectfully. So
we love you
and see you tomorrow.